Ladies, please join me as I welcome the founder, Atafo, the one and the only, my Atafo. Can we please put our hands together for him as he comes and joins me on stage? Please, if you do not put your hands together for him, he will not give me the suit that he has promised me.
I set you up.
Hi, Mai. Up next, we have the CEO, Visio Communications. Please, a round of applause for Nabu Fall. Thank you, thank you. Nabu joins us on stage now.
If I don't phone,
I pronounce it well, right?
number five. Okay, but it's fine, it's me.
All right, we've had joining us on stage the CEO, Visio Communications, Nabu Fall. Up next, the founder of Show Up HQ, an author and a public speaker, Tolu Michaels. A round of applause for Tolu Michaels as she joins us on stage. Now, this session is about, it's titled Evolve, the Future Already You, and it's sponsored by Prudent Energy Group. To facilitate this conversation, join me as I make welcome the president, Chevron Women's Employee Network, Nigerian chapter. So she is the president of Chevron Women's Employee Network, Oyenike Oyedele, who is our moderator today. A round of applause for Oyenike. We'll have time for maybe one or two questions when this is done. So please be ready for when the moment comes. The floor is yours, Oyenike.
May Atafo, a fashion icon in his own right, known for his quintessential style, is the epitome of the perfect gentleman, both in his dressing and his bearing. A multi-hyphenate, May Atafo's skills go far beyond design, and he has experienced an illustrious career before launching his label. He worked in market research, sales and distribution, innovation, brand marketing, and project management. He left his role as senior brand manager for Guinness at Diageo to pursue his love for fashion. May also worked in various roles post his exit from Diageo. These include the role of head of channel, Spice TV, Africa's foremost fashion channel, strategy director for the advertising agency, The Firehouse, and fashion editor, Genevieve Magazine. He was chairman of the Central Working Committee of the Future Award for 6 years before taking up the leadership role in the Advisory Council. May is a firm believer in empowering the next generation of creatives, and he pays it forward where possible. He created a free fashion mentorship initiative called Fashion Conversations, which gives young designers the knowledge of the fashion industry and the tools they need to start their own businesses. A huge supporter of the slow fashion movement and empowering African seamstresses and artisans, May is passionate about harnessing fashion as a vehicle for development by connecting people at every step of the fashion value chain. Please join me in welcoming May Atafo with just a round of applause. Thank you. Next, I'll just say a few things about Tolu Michaels. Tolu is a digital entrepreneur, an online educator, and unapologetic people lover. Within 4 years, she picked up new skills and built a profitable digital business with clients across 5 continents. She trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs online and launched a best-selling book. Together with her team at Show Up HQ, she equips modern entrepreneurs with tools and training to build purposeful and profitable brands so they can impact lives sustainably. Tolu considers herself a nation builder and lays her building blocks by teaching and writing, a common thread that runs through her work in ministry, digital education, and social enterprise. Her book, Show Up, helps you create a profitable brand doing work you love with clients you like. She is the creator of She Shows Up podcast, a media platform inspiring women to lead generously and live authentically. Tolu is also the founder of Sisi Africa, a social enterprise that sponsors the education of African girls through the sale of fashion items made by African women. A multifaceted woman, her work has been featured in the press and top-tier media outlets. She is a pioneer honoree of the prestigious Future Forward Female Folio, and in 2022, she was named one of the top 100 most inspiring women in Nigeria. Tolu has certification in disruptive strategy from Harvard Business School and a Bachelor of Engineering from Covenant University. When she's not teaching or writing, Tolu can be found at her favorite place, wherever she's cuddling with her family. Please, a round of applause for Tolu. And very quickly, I'll read through Nabu's profile. Nabu Fall is the CEO of Visio, a PR communication and branding agency since 2007. Prior to that, she has evolved in the telecom industry from marketing manager to chief marketing officer, deputy managing director, and managing director at MTN Côte d'Ivoire and Congo Republic, as well as 2XTCom, a Vodacom super dealer in the Democratic Republic of Congo. She is the founder of Nabu Fall Academia Leadership Coaching and Training Academy. As a sought-after public speaker, renowned personal development coach, trainer, TEDx speaker, and author, Nabu Fall mentors in various women entrepreneur and empowerment NGOs throughout Africa. Motivated by her commitment to empower her African sisters, she is the coordinator of WIMNET, a network aimed at bridging the digital divide through capacity building. She is a co-founder of Impact Hub Abidjan and founding chair of Women Investment Club Côte d'Ivoire. Nabu Fall holds an engineering degree in computer science and networks from École Supérieure de Génie Informatique Paris, and a master's degree in finance and management from ISG Paris and Tokyo. She has a Women Leadership Program certificate from Harvard Business School, a Boardroom Africa certificate powered by the IOD London, and a Woman Investor certificate from IDEP and ECA. A certified personal branding strategist and certified digital branding strategist. She is an ICF executive coach and a certified emotional intelligence practitioner. She sits on several boards, including Africa Design School in Benin Republic and Aduniame, as well as two women's organizations, Empower Her and Zahara's Dream. She has been nominated as one of the 100 most influential African women in 2021 by Avance Media. Please join us in welcoming Nabu Fall. And in the short time that we've been preparing for this conference, I can attest to Nabu's emotional intelligence. She has done the most to make us all on this panel feel comfortable with her jokes and her laughs and everything that we've discussed before now. So thank you all once again, panelists, for joining us. And then I'll just say to the audience, when we engaged earlier, this panel had said they would like to hear questions. So I'll start with a few questions, maybe start with two, and then we'll start taking questions from the audience. Is that okay? Are we good? Awesome. Okay. So the first question, I need to warn you, it's a bit challenging. So how do you prepare for the future when you don't know what it holds? Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Okay, Nabu, go ahead.
Good afternoon, ladies, and one gentleman somewhere. I'm honored to be here today. What matters is knowing who you are. If you don't know what the future holds, you need to know who you are and what you hold for yourself for the future. What matters is knowing your strength, knowing your story, and what part of your story made you who you are today. What are the challenges that give you the strength to move forward towards the future, known or unknown? Did we know that we would have 2 years stuck in our houses? We didn't know, but we're here in the future after COVID. Let's clap for us. Because we had built resilience, build the skills you think you lack, so that when the time comes, you'll be ready to face whatever life throws at you. That is what I want to share for now.
All right. May, you want to go next? Excellent response, Nabu. Excellent.
I let the ladies go first.
Tolu, how do you prepare for the future when you don't know what it holds?
Thank you, Nike. Thank you, Wimi's, for the opportunity. It's a privilege to be here. So I'll just take from what Nabu has started with, knowing yourself, because no matter what's coming, it's you who's going to meet it. So everything you have now, your intelligence, your capacity, the experience that you've gained over the years, you're taking that with you. And it's so important. I think what is most powerful is that you do not discount any of that. Because no matter what is coming, you're going to meet it, and you're going to be here after it's gone. But what you should not do is to say, oh, my experience doesn't matter, or, my strengths don't count. They're always going to count. Everything you need for the days ahead is already inside you. So I think what we can all start to do is to daily document, what am I good at? What is working for me? Where am I winning? Because those things are going to become useful for the future, no matter what the future looks like.
Thank you, Tolu. May?
I really don't think I should say anything more at this point in time. I honestly think they've actually answered that question beautifully. I was going to say you live a day at a time, but I think also most importantly is that if you can identify what makes your soul happy, it's not necessarily what makes you happy or people around you happy or what makes your heart happy, it's what makes your soul happy. That's like at that point in time when you are by yourself, and you can smile at yourself and be happy. If you know what that thing is, hold on to it, because that's what you need as you move on in life and what you need in the future, even though it's uncertain. Well, once you know what that is, and it could be as simple as literally just writing, or for some people, it's just listening to music, whatever it is that just makes your soul happy, hold on to that, because you always need that in the future.
Awesome, thank you. What makes your soul happy? I'm a big advocate of that as well. What gives you joy will be lasting in your life. So has there ever been a time when you have gone against the wisdom of crowds? And how did it turn out? Did your decision work in your favor? Or do you feel it may have worked against you? Who would like to take that one first? Awesome.
Did you say crowd?
The wisdom of crowds. Yes, that's the wisdom of people around you. They told you don't do something and you did it, or they told you don't do something and you know.
Yes, funny enough, I think I always go against the wisdom of crowd.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you do something by yourself and you think that you've done it for yourself and no other person is actually paying attention, you're shocked how many people pay attention and how many people are supporting you in that particular pursuit. I'll give a good example. So I worked in British American Tobacco and Diageo for about 4 years plus in each company. And the day I decided to resign from my job at Diageo, I didn't know I was resigning that morning. I went into work that day, sat down, and halfway through the day before lunch, I dropped in my resignation letter. So it's been brewing in my head, but I never thought it was the day. But I did it that day, and the moment I did it, thinking that the reaction would be, why are you doing this? You know, you have so much potential. From the people as, and not trying to be derogatory here, people as subordinate to me as 2 levels and those superior to me, many of them came to me and said, what took you so long? Congratulations. You should have done this. And no one was asking what I was going to do. They all assumed I was going into fashion.
Wow.
So it felt like I was the stupid one in all this all the time.
Why did it
So
take you so
in
long?
me, I never generally listen before I do. I do then listen. So that way I don't get to listen to what people think I'm going to do or they want of me. I make the decision, then I listen to what they have to say. It doesn't sway me, but I actually take it in. And that's one of the things they say when you become a man, is how to take the consequences of your action, either good or bad. That's what makes you a man. So I think that's one of the things that I don't listen to the crowd. I make my mind. If it's bad, I live by the consequences of my actions. If it's great, I sit in the glory of my actions.
Well, in a room full of women, I hope at least you consulted your wife before taking that decision. We know what that means.
But interestingly, I like to put it very, very practically. I think that was the only person I had to answer to. So when I say it's been brewing, but the action was taken with no one knowing, I had to literally put 2 years' salary in our account. So it means that my salary every month for 2 years, that was my safety net. So I didn't do it blindly in terms of financially.
Yeah.
So I felt like if I didn't have a job for the next 2 years, I was at the same level, I'll be okay. And she's an accountant, a chartered accountant.
Great.
So if the money was to run out, someone will remind me first. And she was that person.
So I think we can agree. Maya was well prepared before taking that bold move. Nabu, do you want to go next?
Yes, I would say that within us, we have a little voice that talks to us. Before listening to the crowd and the noises of the world, we need to listen to ourselves. And I believe that sometimes I say it's the voice of God, intuition, however we want to call it. But if we take the time to be alone and really listen to our inner self, the real answers are there, and they might not match the answers and the advices of the crowd. I may say that, for example, for me, I used to live in DRC till 2016, so I lived in Kinshasa where I was working. And I was not as organized but as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs sometimes are adventurous people. We just dare, and then we do. Or we do because we dare. I don't know how I should put that. This is not my normal voice, don't worry. And I'm not a trans, I'm a woman. Just saying, right? So I just decided that I had to move back somehow to West Africa because I'm originally from Senegal. And actually my first Wimbies where I came physically was in 2014. From Kinshasa, I came to Lagos. I said, okay. I was the only non-Nigerian that time, I think, in the whole room. And it was half the number of people here today. So I need to congratulate Wimbies, and I'm still loyal to Wimbies. Thanks to my friend Rolake, I came again as a speaker. So what I mean, I just decided that I needed to move back because I had the feel that I needed to move back towards West Africa. Since I grew up in Côte d'Ivoire, I said, okay, I'm going to go to Abidjan. I went on holidays with my kids. From Togo, we went to Lomé, Cotonou. We came to Lagos, actually, with my 2 boys. We went to Abuja to visit my aunt. We went back to Lomé, went to Kinshasa, and all of a sudden I said, no, we're packing. You guys, we're all going back to Abidjan, and you guys are going to school there. And it was a good decision. It was a good decision. If I had told my mother, African mothers, what are you going to do? Do you have an office there? Parents, if you don't sit in an office, like sitting formally, you don't have a job. It's true. No, you need to work in an office. You need to. I said, okay. Then I said, okay, I invested in with friends in an incubator, Impact Hub. You have one in Lagos, right? Impact Hub Abidjan. No. Okay, but you can go and sit there. I say it's around the corner from my house. What is the difference if I work in my house or there? No, you have to sit in an office. Anyway, you all know what I'm talking about. So it was in 2016, and since then, I've not regretted it. If I had listened, maybe I would have listened to the wisdom of others, and I would have lost my opportunities, and I wouldn't be here shining and showing up in front of you.
Thank you, Nabu. Tolu?
Thank you. Okay, so in February 2017, I got married and had to relocate to the city where my husband lived. And at that time, there were plans to move to an office from my company there, but that wasn't going to pull through. So I started to rethink. And this story is actually going to highlight the support of women in my life. I remember a particular senior colleague at the office, the same one I didn't want to leave, telling me, I would personally come and pack your bags, because what do you mean you're considering, coming back? You just got married, stay with your husband. So, but again, my parents, like, if you're not going to sit in an office, what exactly are you going to do with your life? We sent you to school, So, but at that time, I decided that since I had the grace of interruption, I would try to create something I enjoyed while I looked for a job I really liked. And in the process, I started to serve people, helping them to build their brands, helping them to communicate their value and showcase their expertise. I did not personally believe that I could earn sustainable income monthly without a 9-to-5 job, but I was willing to try. And I had support, my first mentor in the whole world. She's here today as my special guest. She supported me, and she told me that she's confident that no matter where I go, I would do well. I also spoke to my mentor, Tara Fela Durotoye, who is also here, and she said something that I just want to highlight if you're faced with a challenge like this. She said, take one step after the other, and it will get clearer. And that has stayed with me. That has helped me in tough times. And now about that decision. Today, I have not looked back because of that willingness to show up and try, even though I did not know. Today, my career has continued to grow. I find myself on stages I never dreamed of. And I hear about people who are doing great work. And this is all because of the impact and the difference that my work is making. So I'm grateful that I went against the crowd and I did what I thought was right.
Awesome. Thank you, Tolu. Great nuggets thus far. Know who you are. Do what makes you happy. We dare and then we do. And then take one step after the other. Okay, audience, I'd encourage you to start getting your questions ready. I'll ask one more question to the panel, and then we'll start taking questions from the audience. So, panel, could you share with us a way in which you've helped a person or a group on their own journey of evolution? Nabu's ready. She wants the microphone. Okay.
Ladies first.
Go ahead. Tolu, do you want to go first? Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Nabu.
so I happily go first. Bukola, you are in the hall here somewhere. Please, can you please rise and just raise your hand up?
Where's Bukola?
Okay, so that's Bukola.
Hi, Bukola.
This is the second time I'm meeting Bukola in my life. The first time was at a job interview for my Abuja branch. I could have hired her, but I thought that her brand had potential to be a solid brand. And instead of her working for me, I offered to be her mentor and invest in her brand.
Wow. Thank you, May. On behalf of Bukola, we say thank you.
And so that was at the interview. And since then, we've been trying to link up, and she's in Lagos. And I said, you know what? Let's just make this a double whammy for you. Come to the office. Today's the second time we're seeing. Well, we'll talk, and I'll start mentoring you properly. And I think you should be at Wimbies. Awesome. Even though you didn't register, you come there under me, and you also see women that are achieving great things. This is one real-life example of how I do what you asked me.
Thank you. Invest in others. Nabu?
I think that's my daily life. That's my daily job. That's what I do. Oh, Tara. Yes. That's what I do every day because I believe that, and I love the concept of Wimbies, I believe that we need to support each other on a daily basis. And as a professional, of course, I do it also for a living, but I'm just going to take the story of one of my clients. She's an extraordinary, brilliant woman. She's a banker, and she started her own bank in Guinea, Conakry. And I hope I will bring her to the next Wimbies.
Wow.
She was the first director of a bank in Guinea. So she hired me to be her coach. And I see so many bright women who are afraid of shining. And I see so many women filled with qualities, having expertise, having awesome experiences, but always afraid of telling the world who they are, just because society told us that we need to bow in front of others. And I've been working with her, and she did a TEDx 2 weeks ago. And she said to me, it's because of you that I did that TEDx. And I felt very emotional, because I believe that any woman who succeeds, who owns her power, it's a way for me to own my own power as a woman. That's it.
Thank you, Nabu. Thank you. All right, Tolu.
Yeah, concerning the success stories of evolution, I would say I'm my own first success story. I remember when I was trying to move and get a job, someone in particular said to me, oh, you're starting a family, a man obviously, you're starting a family and you'll get distracted. So no, there are still stereotypes against, women who have families and mothers and how you can rise in your career. But I decided that I was just going to break that stereotype and give myself a job. So, and then, concerning evolution, what I really want to say about that is that as women, we are resilient. No matter what comes, you're going to bounce back. If you go to have a baby, you're going to come back. If you get sick, you come back. So you might change your career or something, but you're going to come back. And that continues to run through. I remember a client of mine, she didn't even know what she was going to do next. But she just said to me, everybody is asking me how I passed the PMP exam. And so we started to work with that. Like, how can I, what do I tell them? And then I realized that she's actually really good at teaching. So she started to help project management professionals to advance their career. And today she has recorded 100% pass rate across her clients through project management certifications, including the PMP. Her clients have doubled their salaries, and she herself earns a decent income from that alongside her career as a senior project manager. And that's just what happens when you evolve. You don't only impact your own life, you also impact the lives of other people, and you give them permission to do the same.
Applause. Awesome. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you. Thank you. All right, do we have any questions from the audience at this time? Anyone with a hand up?
We have one hand in the audience. Can you please, 2 hands?
Okay.
All right, that will be all for this evening. Can you please come forward?
All right, so
good evening, ma.
good evening.
My name is Okpeyemi Babatokpe. Thank you for everything you've said. At a point in life when you think you really need to move forward and then you get stopped. Now, you said you saved for like 2 years before you could resign. And when you were saying that was actually my story, I didn't save, that's the difference. And the similarity is that money that I resigned, it was not planned. I got to the office. I think before then, I was praying for my boss to misbehave, actually. So, because I just read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so, because he didn't do anything for me, and there was no reason for me to just say I was going. So I was praying, Father, Lord, let this man just misbehave. I want to go. So when I had that opportunity, when he just did something funny in the office, I just said, okay, you know what? I'm not doing it again. And I had nothing to bank on, I told my brother, I was like, that's not the plan. Why did you just resign without anything? I said, don't worry. And Nigerians just believe that God is there. But God will do what he will do. You will have to do what we will do. We should do. And, but I think there are a lot of Nigerian ladies like me that found themselves in that shoe, We don't know where to go. So many people felt because I was a single lady, I was going to start doing all sort of things to get money because there was no other means for me to get money.
What's the question?
Yeah, so the question is how when you find yourself in such situation, how do you move on? you have business ideas that you've not really
You've not been able to implement?
exactly.
Okay.
So how do you move on? Is there any way you get funds for business and all that is not really, that is not well projected to everyone?
Okay, I think our panelists get the picture. Thank you very much for your question. We're going to take the next question. We'll take all questions and then they'll start to answer.
Yeah.
So can we please take the question from the gentleman?
All right, thank you. And hi, my question is to you. My name is Ben, and it's simple. When you're trying to build a legacy, let me put it that way, because sincerely, I think that's what you've done, basically. At some point, there is the need for the reliance on the key elements of loyalty, talking about the people you're working with. Very simple, how do you identify a partner that is loyal, especially from your first contact?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Final question from the fiscal audience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rejoice Azodo Paul, and I'm the Managing Director of MedPoint International Limited. So this question I want to ask is really personal to me, but I believe it's going to be the defining moment in my career. So as the Managing Director of the company, I have had a lot of pushbacks in terms of, you don't have the right experience, you don't have the right network, you don't have what it takes to move this business forward, because I run a healthcare business, and I always get this thing about, this is a multi-million-dollar company, and you don't have what it takes to move this company to that place. So sometimes I go home and I second guess myself. And frankly, I don't have maybe the experience for that. But I always felt that I had the right ideas 2 years ago when I assumed this position. And I've been able to move this company forward. Now, we are here right now and we are trying to scale. So why the pushbacks? Why the whole you don't have, I don't believe. And the new suggestion from the partners is maybe we should hire a managing director and then you supervise the person. So I am asking myself, do I need to hire a managing director or supervise? Is my passion and ideas enough to take this company forward? Thank you.
That's a good question. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I'm just going to take
Sorry,
from the-
is it your company? Sorry.
So yes, I own 25% shares in the company.
Did you found?
I joined after it had started 2 years ago. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to take this from the online audience because we don't want to leave our online audience out of this. This question is to Mai. What does evolving mean for you, especially in the context of the Nigerian economy? And Tolu, a question for you. You have blazed the trail in the digital space. How do we subscribe to your trainings? So we have a few minutes for this, if we can.
All right, I'll
each
move
take-
through it quickly.
Yes, please.
Olive, can you repeat the question for Mai? Let Mai address that one first, and then.
Mai, would you like me to take the question again? Says, what does evolving mean for you, especially in the context of the Nigerian economy?
Okay. So that's a very good question, because in the context of the Nigerian economy, which is very, very, you can't even determine and plan with the Nigerian economy. For those of you that are dealing in Forex, it was, I don't know, probably woke up yesterday, it was 790 something, and by the close of yesterday, it was about 840. So I don't know how you deal with that. But I think that there's one key thing I think is important, which is innovation. And I think that's what people in business, even with yourself, try to think of how you innovate continuously. I believe that innovation makes you steady. It doesn't even make you advance, because when you innovate and you take one step up, the environment takes another step up, then you're back to the same position. But you have to look for a way to innovate. And innovation sometimes doesn't mean the hard functional skills. It could be the soft skills, okay? I always like to give example. I realize that when I have customers in my atelier, when I come out, the consultation is faster, better, and I probably even earn more money in that second because I am present. So what I try to do is be involved in it, no matter how small. The team could have finished and I just come to dot it and just say, how does it look? Let me review that. It makes the customer feel a bit more, comfortable and feel like he's gotten a great service. And that has nothing to do with tailoring. That's just customer service. Okay, and I'm applying for my level. So I think you have to look for ways to innovate in different areas just to ensure you keep evolving. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep your eye on what's going on in the environment. There's a reason why I do menswear, women's wear, and bridal. Menswear it's easy to me. I can do a collection every other month. Bridal challenges me because I do not have necessarily all the skills that I need for bridal. And that's why I love doing it, because it challenges me. Women's wear is literally a takeoff from my menswear, so it's more androgynous, so that's even easy. But now I want to make it retail, so that's a challenge. For me, if I make it retail, I've evolved one more step, and I've tried to please more clientele with that. I'll keep pushing bridal as much as I can while I'm holding on to menswear, but it makes me a more rounded brand. And when I want to brag sometimes, I say, if you can name any designer anywhere in the world that can put a woman in an amazing wedding dress and put her husband in an amazing suit together from one brand, I'll be waiting for the name. So that's why I do that. So evolving, it means just continue. The second question the young man asked about loyalty. You can never get loyalty from the first time you meet somebody. And I also realize that in life, sometimes it's not even from the frequency in which you know the person or meet the people. Sometimes it's in the depth and the degree. There are people that mean well for you, but you only see and speak to them once in 2 years. And sometimes they don't even know how much they mean to you or how much they've helped your career or your life. Okay? But you hold them in high esteem. You don't initially have to diverge. But when you see those people, it's like you can steal 5 minutes of their time again and you feel like you're refilled. You don't have to see them physically. You could just hear them. Okay? And I don't know if that's loyalty, but I feel like since you can bank on that person's experience or that person's word every now and then, even without them being in the room, okay, that's something to hold on to. All right? I don't think that I believe that anyone is totally loyal to you or loyal to you personally. They can be loyal to a cause or loyal to something that you offer, but maybe not to you 100%. They may love you and they can be loyal, but there's a point where they'll go like, I have to, not that they're being disloyal, but I think there's a time to it at the end of the day. Whilst we're at that, I've always wanted to do this, and I've wanted to do this for almost, I think it's about 12 years now, and I have the opportunity today. Tara, she's shocked because she doesn't know this. Thank you very much.
Tara.
While I was trying to make my brand what it is, backstage at Planet One in Ikeja, Celebrity Takes Two, Tara was one of the celebrity dancers. And she was about to go on to perform, and I was busy doing my things behind. And she said, we're already friends and talking then, but she was like, so you're really good at this thing. So what's the name of your brand? I'm like, I don't have a name yet, but I'm working on a few things. I don't know if you remember this at all. And so I'm thinking of a few names. I have this name called Darren Cross. I have like another name called something Taylor. The last one is Maya Tafo Inspired, because it spells my name, M-A-I, Maya Tafo Inspired. That's the last one I'm thinking of. I'm not too sure. And she was like, wait, Maya Tafo Inspired? I'm like, yeah, Maya, yeah. She goes, that's your brand name. I'm like, what? So that's your brand name. You don't think about it. I'm like, oh, okay. The way she said it, when someone says, oh, that's your brand name. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's my brand. That's my brand name. That's my brand name. That's how my brand was named, for starters, My Atafo Inspired. Was the confidence in which she said that.
Awesome.
And I've been waiting to say this for the longest time, because I was meant to celebrate my 10th year anniversary 2 years ago. I was going to invite you specially and tell you this story on that platform. But there's no better time than now.
Thank you, Mai, and thank you, Tara.
Thank you
And
very much,
Mai,
Tara.
for appreciating someone who has sown into your life. And thank you, Tara, for doing that for so many people. So many people have recognized you today. So it means it's who you are, and now I want to be your friend. All right. Go ahead, Nabu.
I'm saying that Tara is receiving what she's giving.
Awesome.
So she should not be surprised about anything good that is happening to her. And she knows what I'm saying.
Awesome. Awesome.
About
All right.
time to cry? No, I won't cry.
All right. Tolu, before we take your question.
No, I want to
Okay,
go
you want
further.
to address
Yes.
the loyal partner. Okay.
The question about how can we evolve, how can Nigerians evolve in that economy? They need to get out of Nigeria. Not physically, but they need to know that around Nigeria, there are some countries where they don't need to go, they get visa. They don't need to go to America or London or Dubai. They can come to Dakar or Abidjan and come and leverage the Nigerian image, the love for Nigerian fashion, the love for Nigerian cinema, and come and also know that they have fans and customers, potential there. That's how you can also evolve in that economy. Get out of Nigeria without thinking London, Paris, New York, Dubai. Think Abidjan, Dakar, Bamako, Conakry. Thank you. That is what I
Think
wanted
regional.
to add.
All right.
That's important.
Okay.
And I wanted to answer to the young lady who said that she's the CEO, managing director of a multi-million company. When I first went into marketing, I worked as marketing and I was an engineer in computer science. I don't even know what marketing was.
Shout out to my engineers.
Yes.
Yes.
But what I mean is, African parents, even if you go and dance, she's an engineer. They will tell you, she studied engineering. Yeah, but I dance, please respect my dancing. So, but African parents. But what I mean is that I didn't know how to do that. And you learn by doing. And don't let people tell you that you're not enough. Perfection doesn't exist in this world. You will grow as you learn. You will grow as you do. Dare to ask for help to your mentors. You have a bunch of sisters and brothers around you that are willing to help you. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. If you're there, it's because there's a potential that someone saw in you. You have 25% of the company. If it works for you. It's people that are trying to tell you that you cannot. Are they perfect? No. Can they do it better than you? Maybe not.
Probably not.
So believe in yourself. Evaluate yourself. Which skills do you need to build and which skills you need to develop in order to be better than the person you were, not better than the person they want you to be. This is what I had to share for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of engineers, I studied mechanical engineering. And then, I worked in finance, and then now I'm a brand strategist. And I said that to say you can completely reinvent yourself anytime. People won't even remember what you were or who you used to be. So that's permission for anyone who needs permission, especially when, you think you're in a challenging environment, just speaking to that question. And also to the person who was talking about her capacity. You are there because you're supposed to be there. So one thing that is very important is your self-talk. I had spoken about my special guest earlier. I didn't mention her name, Mrs. Oluwaseyi Adeyemo Adeoye. She was my first mentor besides my parents, and she taught me the power of self-talk. Like, everybody will call me what I call myself. That's what they know. So it's so important that you hold that strong. And when you ask for help, you haven't failed, you have won. So if there's something you don't have, ask somebody to give it to you. When Wimby's called, I said yes. I didn't know how I was going to figure it out because I have a 4-month-old. But my mom is there. She's with my children now. And I'm like, hey, I can go. So sometimes it's okay to just say yes. And then when you need help, ask for the help. And finally, I want to say something that speaks to some of the questions we got. I often say showing up is as simple as ABC. A for articulate your value. Even if nobody knows the value that you bring to the table, you should know at least. So that no matter what situation you find yourself in, if you need to evolve, then you can and you will. B for build your audience. It doesn't have to be a large audience, but it has to be somebody out there that you know is listening, somebody out there that you know believes in you. Because sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes you truly think, can I do it? Let there be somebody who can tell you, look, I believe in you. Look, you can do it. Those people exist. They don't need to be popular. They don't need to be the most celebrated. They just need to be your people. So find your people and stick to them. And then C for, create and sell an impactful product. So that explains itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Tolu. All right, so I'll ask.
Someone had asked me a question.
About your subscription.
Sorry, I forgot that one.
For the classes.
Yeah, tolumichaels.com. I have a free training on there, so you can start with that one, tolumichaels.com. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, tolumichaels.com, for people who want to subscribe for Tolu's free training. I'll ask one last question to the panel, and then we'll close, Olive. So it's that, the question from the lady who said, I'll try and paraphrase it. How do you cope when you leave stability for instability? And how do you find investments for your ideas?
So we have 1 minute each. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Yeah. I think that, we're not taught to be entrepreneurs in Nigeria. We're not taught, yeah. We just gangster it, for lack of a better word. We go into, because there's no school that teaches entrepreneurship until recently. And when you look at people that have done it, try to lead by the way they have done it, and it seems like it's kind of different. What I would tell you is try to take one idea at a time and try to practicalize that idea. Because sometimes ideas are what they are. Ideas. But you have to bring it to life. So it's like you're having a dream. You have to wake up from the dream and make that dream a reality. So take it. Because I, for one, I sat down here and I wanted to be a shirt designer. I didn't want to design women's wear at all. It was not even in my sight. It was in the same show. I had to make something for Moremi Akinifesi. After making 3 outfits for her, boom, and that's what happened. But if you told me to write the plan, that didn't exist. So I'll say start with one idea, because the main reason why you're doing what you're doing may just show up within that idea you're doing. I may not even be the idea you started with. So just go to execution. No matter how small it is, organic, I still own my business 100% today because I chose to go organic. Okay, so make yourself happy. Challenge yourself and reward yourself. You'll be shocked what will happen. Okay, that's what I'll tell the girl, that, looking for investors is not the right thing to do when you have an idea. It's trying to work on your idea first. The investors will come and you tell them no, because you have enough.
All right, thank you so much, Mai. Nabu.
As a promoter of an incubator in Côte d'Ivoire, there are incubators, there's so many programs for entrepreneurs around that you just need to go on Google and find out Women Entrepreneurs Support Program. Use that idea that Mai spoke about and integrate one of those programs. Most of them are free financed by DFIs. We always say people, where are you? I say, go on internet, do Google. Google is here for everyone. Go to Impact Hub or somewhere else. I know Impact Hub because there's one in Lagos. And try to build your idea. As he said, it's true. He said Nigerians are not taught to be entrepreneurs. We think that you guys are the best entrepreneurs in West Africa. But when you say it's true, we all stumble into that. When you come out of the corporate world, you think you know it all, but being an entrepreneur is a whole different ball game. You like an illiterate, and it's different. So learn to be an entrepreneur, but stick to your idea and stop thinking and start acting. I'm just paraphrasing what he said. Thank you.
Thank you. Tolu, do you want to say something to that one?
Yes, I'm just going to encourage her. We live in a time of unprecedented leverage because of the internet, because of technology. Like, you can say something right now and it goes around the world in a minute. Somebody can learn from you without taking your time, and you can also learn from people without necessarily meeting with them. So I would say maybe it's time to tap into that some more. What digital tools can you use? What are things you don't have to pay for? just to start, and to start with that one thing that they've talked about. If you didn't think about it before, I think this is the time to think about it. How can I use free digital tools that are available to start?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And so we are coming to a close. Thank you very much. But from my end, I want to leave a charge to the audience. So to my audience, do a small exercise with me. I want you to look into the future, into your 2032. Look into your 2032. And then think, what is that one thing that if your 2032 self were to say, you really should have done that, and you didn't do it, and it would make you burst into tears for not having done it. Now write that thing down and make sure you achieve it before 2032, because that will be your evolution story someday. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. And there we have it, the deep dive session 1 that talks about evolving the future already. Thank you so much to our panel. That was such a rich conversation, and a great way to end it is the charge. And I'm hoping that when we get home, or whilst we're going home, we can all think about it and do what we've been asked to do. At this point, I'd like to welcome the CPG, that's the Community Planning Group Chair for Logistics, CMC Peters, to join us on stage for a group photograph and for the presentation of gifts. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has stayed till this time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us. We want to assure you that tomorrow, please join them for photographs. Thank you. Please rise for photographs. Want to assure you that by tomorrow we will finish much earlier. We want to remind you that you should please come with your Snickers, because tomorrow will be a day to party right after the conference. We wish you a safe journey home. We thank you for your time. Please stay safe and see you tomorrow bright and early. Remember, I'm coming with goodies for those who would come early. My name is Olive Emodi, and this is where I draw the curtains on day 1 of the 21st Annual Conference, brought to you by Wimbiz. Have a lovely evening.